I think we are recording. We're off. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to TVI Podcast episode. I think it's 241. What do you reckon? Does that sound about right?
Possibly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is. It is. It's 241, and it's a momentous day in the world. Big things happening today. We've got England are playing in the final of the Euro 2024 Championships in Berlin.
It's the final today.
It's the final, mate. What do you think the whole country's gone mental? Yeah.
It's
What
the
did you
final.
think was happening? What did you think was happening?
I just thought it was one of the games.
Mate, the whole country's in fucking up, every
I
pub
haven't
is...
watched a whole game yet. I thought I'm going to really get into this soon.
Oh my God, we're in the final, mate. That's why...
What's the matter with me?
You're an idiot. You messaged me yesterday, but I said about doing a pod today. Like, should we just try and squeeze one in quickly? Because we've been busy this week. And then you went, how about tomorrow evening? And I was in my head, I was like, is he fucking mental? Like, literally the biggest game.
I knew England were playing, but I didn't know it was the actual final.
Yeah, mate.
We're in the final. That's good, isn't it? Because we were. I thought we were doing a bit shit.
Oh my God, man! That's your ability to sort of like miss major things that are happening in the country. You'll know about
Next
stuff
thing
that's
you're going
happening.
to tell me there was a fucking assassination attempt.
Yeah, but what I mean is, you'll know about that. You'd know about American news more than like the biggest news in the UK that's been for the last week. So
I knew they were playing. Who are we playing? Spain.
We're playing Spain. Spain are the best team in the tournament. We should.
I knew we were playing because I'm going to take Ren to the pub to see the game, but I literally didn't know it was the actual final we were in.
Insane.
Hey, Google, stop. Sorry.
Google? What's happening? What's
that
Google
means
trying
my
to do?
washing's done.
Oh man!
Google thing. What's that thing? It's like Alexa, but it's a Google one. It's
Google
so
Nest. Good. Is it?
Yeah, I only use it for alarms. I could use it for so much more.
Music. I use. Yeah. I mean, to be honest, we've got Alexa. We've got an Alexa in this. Actually, do you know what? I mean, we're so fucking spied on by the Chinese government or something. We've got two Alexas and a Google Nest in the house. I'll tell you what Alexa's wicked for. I mean,
just so they don't miss a thing.
Just so everyone knows what we're up to, man. I want to keep everyone up to speed.
Live stream to China.
But Alexa's wicked for shopping lists, and I use it for music. So whichever room in the house I'm in, if I just want music on, I'll just say, Alexa, can you play Motown playlist? And suddenly it's just playing in the room, innit? Like,
can you play some Sonia? Do you remember Sonia?
Yeah, I remember Sonia.
What? So how do you do it for shopping lists?
So if you need the Alexa app, right? So if I'm cooking and I realise I need something, whatever, I just say, Alexa, can you put onions on the shopping list? And then when I'm at the shop next, I open my Alexa app and my shopping list is on there to show me what I've added.
But isn't it too late if you're cooking?
No, but I mean, it's if you finish. Imagine you're cooking, you finished the last onion.
Oh, yeah,
I need more onions. So I put it on the shopping list with Alexa, and then when I'm in the shop, all I have to do is open the app, and my shopping list is there ready to go. So it's always...
I might do that. If I'm about to eat, I'll be like, I need a microwave meal.
Alexa, can you give me some money to get a Deliveroo?
When I look in my wallet, I need to get some money tomorrow.
Alexa, can you get me a job? So anyway, yes. So
Alexa,
that's
can you give me a hug?
Oh man!
Alexa,
so you're going to the pub to watch.
Me?
You're going to the pub to watch the football. That's nice.
That's the idea. I get a feeling they don't want me to go though, because it's just the kids are going, and Bo's 19, Verity's 18.
Oh, right, okay. Someone said there doesn't need to be legal
and
adults.
Ren's 10, but she wants to go with them. Sometimes, like I went over to them. They were in the park the other day with their mates. Like Ren started to hang around with Verity and her mates.
Yeah.
And I walked over there. Verity ran off.
Yeah.
Ren ran off like they were all ashamed of their dad walking over. I was like, wait a minute, I'm a cool dad. Why would you be... And I was just stood there chatting to their mates.
Them, no, you can't convince kids with, no, come on, I'm a cool dad, man. That
I'm
makes
a
you
cool
sound
look. Let's go to the discotheque. No, but I showed them I was cool by body popping.
I showed them I was cool by doing roundhouse kicks in front of them and flexing my muscles.
The Karate Kid kick.
Showed them how to roll a spliff and then swore loads. No, I'm really cool. I'm one of them cool dads. Watch, I'll buy some beers for you. Do you want me to go to the shop? Thanks. Oh, man.
Or showing them how to smoke a cigarette properly.
Oh, fuck. You can't, you can't win that, mate. Once they think you're uncool.
I did have to roll a spliff once for my son's friends, and it was fucking, I came into my own, mate.
Yeah, man. Just watch this, boys. Watch this, lads.
Just roll them the biggest pregnant shit joint.
Looks like a knick-knack.
With a million Rizzlers, just some thick ass dirty.
It's all fucked. Roach falls out the moment you try and put it in your mouth. You're like, oh, have fun, man.
And then they turn around, I'm giving them a blowback inappropriately. Come on, boys, this is how we did it in the 50s. Telling them stories of Woodstock.
So anyway, right. So you're up to speed. It's the final. Your kids don't want you to go to the pub with them.
Yeah. I'm gonna rock up. I'm gonna go to the pub and sit somewhere else and just spy.
Yeah.
Like a nonce.
I was sort of annoyed, man. Like all my mates that I've, over the years watched footy with, like none of them or all of them, like, I suppose it is an age thing as well. They had kids much younger. So a lot of them now, their kids are like, 10, 11, 12, whatever. So they're all like watching it with their kids. So I was like, oh, who's up for going to the pub to watch the football? And they're like, no, I'm going to watch it with the family. And I was like, what are you talking about watching it with the family? I want to go to a pub and fucking throw my pint up in the air when we score. I want to, you know what I mean?
Sail my bottle across the pub.
Exactly. When we lose, I want to launch a chair out the window. I don't want to be with you.
Nutting every Spaniard in the building.
I'm going to go mash up that tapas restaurant en route, mate.
I'm going to do a racist vlog online and post it. Got some of my favourite slurs about to be launched.
Like loading them up like you're loading a gun, man. Just putting them in the chamber. But it's so I was like, I was all thinking, we'd all meet up and go to a pub in town, and literally every single person, man, a couple of mates on holiday, and I was like, what, hang on, I ain't got no one to, and then I sort of another couple of mates we were going to go with, they've now got some dramas over the weekend came up, relationship stuff, so they fucking backed out.
Juicy.
So it's me and one mate going to my local pub, which is actually quite good. You know what? It's that weird thing where I was all up for a big night. I was going to go thinking about going into town to a pub, and now we're going to a pub that is.
And your mate.
But it's me and a mate, but we're going to a pub that is like 200 meters from my house. So now the reality is, I'm quite happy about that because if we lose, nice easy walk home. If we win, I could get pissed.
Spain good. I mean,
Spain are the best team in the tournament over the tournament. They've been quality every game. England have been very patchy. Decent moments, but they've not been great, and they've slightly sort of, managed to sort of gammy their way into the final a bit. So, it's an England are massive underdogs. I think, not massive. They could beat anyone on their day.
Are they betting underdogs? Like they're literally underdogs.
Spain are probably the slight favourites, but in a final between two teams, there's never going to be a massive underdog. It's not like a.
Sort of 1,000 to 1.
No, it'll be quite close odds just because it's going to be a tight game. And England are good, but they seem to be underperforming. So I'm just excited. I think it's going to be exciting, man, to watch it. But probably like because I always have quite a bit of a weird relationship with watching England, obviously because my parents did. You know what I mean? Wasn't something I grew up with. Like my parents didn't give a shit about England. You know what I mean? As a they lived here. But like they went, my dad would never have supported England as a football team. My dad would never have supported any English sporting team. He was the archetypal anyone but England when it came to sports, right? So I grew up with that. Because he was
Irish.
Yeah. And I never, it wasn't until Euro 96.
Why don't he fuck off back to Ireland then?
Why don't you fuck off back to where he came from, mate? This is fucking England, man.
Fuck off back to Tipperary then. My dad was Australian, wasn't he? And my mum was like, weren't even on her radar football. I never grew up like patriotic at all. I do like patriotism though, like. It gets a hard time, doesn't it? Like,
well, I think because there's dickheads that misuse it. Yeah. Like, there's a difference between patriotism and nationalism, isn't there? It's a huge gulf.
Yeah.
Somebody can be.
I'm a nationalist, 100.
Yeah, you're 100%
to my bones.
Stop the boats, sort of vibe.
Stop the planes.
No, but there's such a different thing.
Stop the tourists.
Like, I agree.
I don't even want tourists.
Because it wasn't until about Euro 96 that I suddenly had this weird change of heart, and I was like, hang on, up until that point,
that was the best one ever, I think. Or the Maradona one in
it was the first
86, the World Cup.
I felt English. I felt like I'm born and raised here.
Stop
I am an English
to your
person.
black friends.
But
started popping names out your phone book.
No, but
like in prison, you just go over with all the whites.
Yeah, mate, got the bulldog tattoo on my back. Done a lot, mate. But no, that's it. It was the first time Euro 96 where I was like, do you know what? Actually, I sort of get it that you can have your heritage can be from somewhere else, but you can also have a dual identity, can't you? So I was like, yeah, sort of. I've always up to that point, I'd always associated with being Irish and second generation Irish, and it wasn't until Euro 96 that weirdly the whole tone of the country got me a bit, and I was like, do you know what? Actually, no, I'm a London. I'm born in London. I'm English. I just happen to, not historically be from here, and since then I've sort of had that slight divide.
But you were born in London, weren't you?
Yeah. So, but it comes and goes.
Oh yeah.
Like in terms of but most people I know that are second generation Irish don't support England at all. They wouldn't even go and watch them in a pub. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of my mates that I grew up with wouldn't give them the time of day, and they were born in London as well. So like, but I'm one of the few of them that actually have sort of adopted it and gone like, do you know what? I'm a football fan as well, and all my favourite, there was a period where Tottenham had loads of England players. At the minute, it's gone a bit sparse, but like someone like Harry Kane is a Tottenham legend. So I would like them to win it, if anything, just for him. I'd like to see him win something. Yeah. So I'm well behind. I want them to win.
Why did you support Tottenham then? If you're not from round that way,
I'm from South London, because my dad just picked them. You know what I mean? He just picked Tottenham because they were decent.
Weirdly, I supported Tottenham for a little while when I was about 6. I don't know why. Maybe my mate did.
Yeah.
And then I went over to like Millwall when I was about 8.
Because that's when you were getting violent. That was when the ultra.
I got all the Millwall autographs actually when I was about 9 because my mum was a nurse, and one of the players, Alan Walker, was in her care for like a couple of weeks. He had a bad injury, and I went and met him, and he got me all the autographs and that.
Yeah.
Pretty cool, mate.
It's pretty cool. But anyway, there we go. So I'm watching it in a pub. Let's see what happens. It's a few hours till kick-off. I'm excited. I'm going to get on the beers, mate. Fucking Sunday beers.
You're going to get mash up.
Yeah. I'm going to go crazy, mate.
Get a bit of bugle in.
Yeah. Bit of bugle. Bit of violence. Get my top off.
Yayo.
Anyway, other news, obviously, this has been lighting up the old TVI WhatsApp group, was somebody taking a shot at Trump, man. That was fucking wild, isn't it? Like, that is so close. That is so, like,
that's definitely, fucking hell.
Like,
that would have been bigger than JFK if he would have been killed.
Well, I think so. Just because the time we live in, man, it's huge. Like, it's not the next day the shock of people reading it on the newspaper, on the newsstand. Oh my God, JFK! Like, this is
also his fans
instant.
Are so passionate about him.
Yeah.
Like,
it would have caused it's going to cause an absolute. Like, it's going to cause like waves that are going to go through the. He's won the election so easily now. He was already going to win it if he's up against Biden, but it's a landslide, right? But if he would have been killed, there would have been like fucking murders all over the country. To think of the repercussions.
Oh my God!
Almost a civil war level shit, I reckon.
Fucking hell.
It is like
I think it's warmed people to him as well, just how he kind of the resilience and all that. Like
that photo isn't. I think he's an absolute melt, right? You know, I do think he shouldn't be anywhere near politics, but that photo is iconic, man. Like you cannot dispute that is one of the greatest ever political photos.
Secret Service trying to get him away. He's like, fuck this.
Yeah, that is up there. That's literally probably almost instantaneously like the greatest political photo of all time. It's mad. You know,
of all time. I mean, it's the greatest public relation. I mean, obviously it weren't a stunt, but the greatest public relations.
There's loads of conspiracies already. We've seen all the conspiracies going around about it. I moved his head a bit before, and like, what? Hang on, he moved his head a bit before. What, you reckon they'd planned it? Right, we're going to shoot you. So at this, when you hear this noise, just move your head a bit so the bullet doesn't hit you in the brain, as if that would be the plan.
I know. But they're saying it could have been a pellet and then pretended it was a bullet. I don't know, man. And then he put the blood from on himself. But
like a wrestler. I mean, it's insane. Come on, in front of all those people and cameras, you think they're going to risk him doing a blood capsule like he's fucking Mick Foley or something? I know. That's insane, man. Come on. Like, as much
as impossible.
You know, I like a conspiracy theory from time to time, but that is mental to think that.
That is a crazy one, man.
If you wanted to do an assassination... And I don't know why I feel like I know what I'm talking about. But if you wanted to do one of them, right, you'd do it close quarters, innit? You'd do it like the sort of Bobby Kennedy, you know, bloke just runs up, or Lee Harvey Oswald, you know, that sort of stuff, man. Take it close quarters, because that would be probably easier to fake, you know. So I don't know, man. I think it's legit. He just lucked out. Getting shot in the ear.
I mean, Jesus,
that is so
Christ.
close to death. You are 2 inches from death. An inch from death, really.
It could have been like 2 millimeters, though. It could have been 2 millimeters, and it touches your brain, and you're dead.
Oh man,
or your eye,
mental.
or like.
I don't think because it went round. Basically, I saw John Hastings, the comedian. He just referenced it in a WhatsApp group like yesterday evening. Just said, "Oh, somebody took a shot at Trump." And he didn't even register that it could have been a real thing. Like, I just thought he was saying about something else. And then I opened Twitter and couldn't see anything. And then within an hour, obviously, it was everywhere. But I didn't realise just how massive it was until I started, you know, seeing the footage.
I was on the way back from Liverpool on the phone to Dudridge, actually. He's in LA, isn't he? And
yeah.
It was early morning there, and he said it. And then I just put on the radio, man, and just... come home and just watched it all. It's fucking crazy, man.
So yeah. So it's, I mean, what
crazy
like in terms of
someone
if you're a Democrat
did die in the crowd from the bullet, wasn't it?
And somebody else got critically injured as well, isn't it? So it's one injured, one death, and the gunman obviously.
Yeah, but the killer's dead. Apart. Some innocent person in the crowd's dead, and 2 are injured apparently.
Yeah. It's wild. But like if you're if you're the Democrats now, you've got to be thinking, what can we do to even try and like get back in the race? Because you can't have Joe Biden, who can't even finish a sentence, going up against Trump, who has literally just survived being shot in the head and fucking.
I mean, it's martyred him, hasn't it? I know martyrs are. To be a martyr, you have to die, don't you? But he's like a living martyr now.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah,
you know what I mean.
I know, yeah.
There'll be his fans now orgasming over him. You know what I mean?
Have you seen like literally? It's like most of the American like Christian right are like, literally now just obsessed that God saved him. And it's like exactly,
yeah,
that's
he's chosen by God.
Yeah, so that you ain't gonna beat that. You ain't gonna defeat that at all. So
I mean, to be fair to him, politics aside. He fucking took it, didn't he? And fucking
I mean, it was and it was probably like pure
proper Churchill
adrenaline
style.
And shit, man. Like, but you know, fuck me, that is it is big. It's from it's mad.
And also, like CNN and the left wing media don't help themselves, like by the way they report it as well. It's just so weird, like.
Why?
They didn't even mention he got shot. They just said Secret Service. Trump fell at rally. Shots fired.
Everything I saw
or something.
said he'd been shot. Every bit of media I saw said he'd been shot.
Unless it's photoshopped, like on Twitter, but some of their headlines are crazy.
I reckon it's probably
Russell
maybe
Brand just posted one of them.
Yeah, it might be one or two, but I'd say overwhelmingly everything I've seen has just reported that he got shot, and you know there was and the shooter was it was all very accurate what I've seen. You know, I think that's Russell Brand being an absolute psychopath, and
unless it was photoshopped, it was fucking weird.
But
if it's yeah.
But what I find, I mean, the thing that I find really annoying that this is sort of already coming off the back of this. I've seen a few fucking divs saying this is what happens when the way the left talk about someone like Trump. It's like, hang on, you saying it's just you saying the right doesn't sort of portray their fucking enemies as if they're murdering.
It could have been Biden. It could have been anyone. Or
absolutely.
Obama. You know what I mean?
And the majority of assassinations historically have been conservatives, you know, shooting liberals, right? That's sort of, I think assassinations tend to be the other way around. This is actually quite a rare thing for a.
I mean, he was obviously knew what he was doing. The guy, he was like 200 meters away or something, wasn't he? Like, he wasn't near.
No. But I do think, like, you know, I don't think he's not a trained sniper, is he? Because a trained sniper would have absolutely taken his head off. Surely they can do shots from like a mile, can't they? Snipers. So, like, I
suppose it doesn't take much to be sort of like proficient with guns as an American, does it? Like,
exactly, man. They're using them all the time. So, it's going to be interesting to see.
How it unfolds.
It's live, and I've not had any interest at all in the American election. This is the first time I've gone.
I mean, this has definitely fucking upped it, innit?
Yeah. Anyway, let's do some questions. There's going to be questions about that, I think. Let's see. Here we go. Violin Mick says, in this current insane political climate we're in, what's your top 3 biscuits? There he goes. He's thrown a little fun curveball at us straight off the bat. I'm not really a biscuit guy, you know.
I don't really eat biscuits, but I used to like chocolate hobnobs, I guess.
Do you know, as a sort of accidentally vegan option, Oreos. I like an Oreo. I don't buy them often, but when I have one, I'm enjoying it.
They are extremely popular, aren't they?
Thank you, Martin Lewis.
But like McDonald's, like there's even Oreo flavored stuff now as well.
Yeah,
like,
it's quite. I know what you mean. It's a common one. It's like Biscoff.
Like they're up there with a Malteser. You know what I mean? Nearly.
There's a lot of Biscoff knocking around recently. Biscoff ice cream. Biscoff. Yeah. It's a bit sickly, Biscoff, man. But I would say, I'm going to go Oreo. I don't even know the others. Do you know what? I like a rich tea. That's how boring I am with biscuits, man. Just a nice.
Yeah, they're kind of addictive. I think it's just the sugar in them, though, maybe.
But because they're not too sweet. They're the ones that feel like you can eat loads. It doesn't feel like as bad as like.
I could do a packet of them easy, man.
Easily. I'd swallow them.
Chocolate hobnobs would have to be number 1, though.
I've not had a hobnob in years, I don't think. So I can't
Nor have I, actually.
Comment.
I feel like it now, though.
Here we go. Let's do this. So, Bill, when you first started earning money from comedy, what was the first thing you bought? I mean, when you first start earning money from comedy, like, you know, you're trying to make it a job.
Chocolate hobnob.
So it's just like you're spending your money on your normal stuff. I'm trying to think of what's the first time I got a big, like a corporate or something and treated myself. Like, I got
my website made, I think.
Oh, did you? I definitely
and I've just never used it since.
I remember once buying like I bought a few items of clothing that I wouldn't have I remember buying like a £350 pair of Jeffrey West boots. I bought a 350 quid leather All Saints leather jacket as well once after I did like a gig in Edinburgh that I got. I was already doing Edinburgh and I was having a good Edinburgh, and then I did this extra gig that I got paid quite handsomely for. So I was just in Edinburgh and I went, I'm going to go buy myself a nice jacket, man. And it's things that, you know, they're not crazy money, but like you just think, that's a bit, I'll treat myself. You know what I mean?
I remember my first ever paid gig was for Christian Knowles at like Portsmouth or Southampton. I never remember which university.
I remember that was Christian Knowles gig.
Uni.
That was a really, because I remember there was Portsmouth Uni, but Southampton Uni was a real iconic, when you were new, everyone remembers going and doing that gig.
Yeah, I did that a few times, but I think my first paid gig was Portsmouth Uni, and I got £10.
Oh, yes.
And doing the middle, and I've still got it actually, you know. But yeah, I remember thinking they're paying me. It was just weird, it's
mad,
just to tell jokes.
Yeah, I think the first paid gigs I got were door splits at little gigs in Laughing Horse type gigs in London. Like I remember, being really, really new, like a handful of gigs, and then somebody asked me to host a gig, and I hosted it. There was only about 8 or 12 people in the audience, and fucking probably as many acts. And I hosted it over the night, and at the end, they just gave me like 30 quid. I was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I'm just like, I've just messed around for a couple of hours and got 30 quid. But yeah,
where was your first weekend gigs?
First weekend gigs, I don't know. Like in terms of big clubs, it was the Glees. I remember getting seen at I think it was a Laughing Horse New Act of the Year final, or maybe it was the Leicester Mercury final. I got into a few finals, of the New Act competitions, everyone, and after it, I got booked to do a gig in London called Laughing Boy Comedy, which was booked.
And Danny was there
by the same people that booked the Glees. And
I did that.
So I was really new, and I wasn't playing any other big clubs. I was doing loads of little gigs, and I was closing smaller, like little, tiny clubs and that. And I was doing open spots at the store and stuff. And I just remember going and doing this Laughing Boy, and I think I just did I remember doing some banter with the audience, and the next day I got an email saying, "Do you want to host the Glee in Birmingham?" I was like, "What? All right." And I hosted a Thursday, Friday, Saturday at the Glee, and I was nowhere near ready enough, man. Like I think I hadn't even been going 2 years. Like, I was brand new.
It's good to come out of your comfort zone, though, isn't it? Yeah, like that, and do it.
But I remember being just so nervous all weekend. Like, I never felt like I should have been there. Like Jeff Innocent was on that weekend, and people like that, and it was suddenly me, this kid, who just suddenly was just thrown amongst, not only just on the bill, like not in the middle or something. I was hosting it. I was the responsibility to run the night, essentially, make it all run smoothly for every other act.
That's a big one as well, isn't it?
It was massive. I remember it was the biggest room I'd done. I can't remember. The Leicester Mercury final was in a decent sized room. I can't remember where it was, but I remember club wise it was the biggest, apart from doing open spots at the Comedy Store. So yeah, but I remember I got in there, and then I got in. Suddenly they all just sort of happened around the same time. I'd been going about 2 years, and suddenly they started. Suddenly I got in at Creek, and suddenly I got in at Banana, and whatever. It just sort of snowballed a bit. So, right, let's do another one. Somebody's done a photo. James Redding put a photo. You know them guys that have got the big fucking holes in their earlobes. The sort of piercings, and in reference to Trump, and said. Piercings are addictive. Oh, is this politically the best thing that could have happened to him? Yes, I think it is. Getting 100%, shot and surviving is a gold mine. Here we go. Martin, in these uncertain times, the question we all have today is, of course, have you ever had an erection from something really inappropriate, and what was it? I don't know. I'm sure I've talked about on here how I used to always get him at the dentist. Is that?
Yeah, I think you have. Yeah.
I think I have. Because there's a few places where I'm sure it's just the vibrations or something. But I used to always get boners in the dentist chair, and I always used to get them in planes. Just on planes, takeoff and landing, mate. I just basically every flight was bookended with a rod on, mate. Just I don't know why, man. And it wasn't nothing. It was absolutely nothing sexual in terms of. It was no kink in my head that I was like, oh yeah,
I got a weird one once when I was about 5 years old. And I always think about it. I don't always think about it, but I don't want to say it. But
come on,
it was my over my aunt.
Oy, yuck!
She was sitting there. We're all at my.
It's not out of the question, is it? As a young boy.
Yeah. We're all at my nan's house, and my aunt was sitting. We're all everyone's just sitting around. I'm playing with my Star Wars figures, and I just noticed she had stockings on, and the little bit of her leg was showing, above the stockings,
like a fucking Victorian pervert.
I was just transfixed. It was my aunt, my mum's sister. It wasn't even it was blood relative.
Yeah, that's.
And I remember being really fucking
It's really funny. That's almost like your sort of origin story of you being a fucking creep.
Yeah, it was interesting, really. I don't think I can't be alone with that kind of thing, because I'm not
not
warped or anything. I don't think.
No.
Maybe a little bit.
I don't think that's that out of the ordinary, you know. You saw a bit of leg, mate.
It was always my mum's friend or my neighbour, but they're always like mum's kind of age. Like,
yeah.
I'd be like, when I was like really young, I was
funny.
an easy picking if they were nonces, man. I'd have been like, yeah, mate, no grassing.
Oh, yuck. Here we go. Here we go. Ed Clues. In these politically tumultuous times, what's your views on anal bleaching? Where can you get a good bargain on it?
It's a good idea.
Anal bleaching. So I know that's...
Especially if you're going to get your bumhole out on Insta or something, you know what I mean? You want it clean.
If your arse plays a role in your profession, I'd argue it's probably worth it. If it doesn't, I would say probably you can spend your money on better things, innit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
just get a coffee or something.
Yeah, like, how does it work? It's literally just
get some new trainers.
What I don't understand is why are they bleaching it? Couldn't they just wax it? What's the difference between waxing and bleaching, like in terms of the aesthetics? Surely it's weirder to have bleached.
Bleaching just makes it nice and pink.
Yeah, but it's be like I don't know, man. It seems like
a little piggy.
Why can't...
like a little piggy's ear roll.
But what's like the is it can you get different colours? Can you colour it? Like rather than bleaching, can you then bleach it and then, you know, have some colour in it?
Make it brown.
Just really dark, even darker, go darker than your natural colour.
Just jet black anus.
Jet black. Oh, yuck.
Oh, yeah. Get me in there.
Give me a knife and fork. I'm tucking in.
Breakfast time.
Oh, God.
The buffet is ready, sir. Prepare the table.
Jesus Christ. Yes, that's enough talk about anal bleaching. What is your... Oh, Colin, this is a good one, actually. I'm going to assume he means London here. What's your go-to area if you're in town and you need a piss? Now, it's quite a gross way of putting it, but it's good to know, man. Like, you know, sometimes you're in town, you're busting for a wee.
It depends which area, though, because it would be like the nearest place, wouldn't it? I love a hotel. But
do you go to your hotel? See, I never go into hotels to use their toilets, weirdly.
You could just walk in super confident. They don't know you're not staying there.
I know. Somebody told me that a while ago, and I thought, I'm going to do that. And it never crosses my mind when I'm busting and I'm looking pubs. I'll always do pubs. But
I like an outside piss, though. I had one yesterday.
Just wind in your hair.
I pulled up at the services, but instead of going into the services toilet, I pissed like in the bushes, and it was like the beautiful clear sky.
Yeah, man.
It gets a bit spooky, but I was like, you don't want them long pisses.
Yeah, when you've been busting as well. I will say, when you're busting for the toilet, like a sort of nature piss, I think is the best one.
They're the best.
Absolutely. Because it is that. It's the release that makes you feel amazing, and you're doing it with the bloody cold air. And you're like, this is...
in a beautiful starlit sky. You know what I mean? It's romantic.
Man. Yeah. Caveman.
Just always finish it off with a jerk off.
You just wank in the bushes. Yeah.
Just throw my cum on the leaves.
Oh, God.
Lick it against a little cute bunny rabbit. Pick a bunny rabbit off and just wipe my dick. But yeah, if I'm in like Soho-y area, which I'm not really that much, it's Spice of Life I've used a lot.
What's Spice of Life?
That pub.
Oh, right. Yeah. There's a few pubs in like central. I'd say any of the pubs in Soho and that, they're all busy enough that no one's going to bother you if you just walk in and use their toilets, man. They don't mind. They sort of there's not big. They might have a sign up now and again. You'll see a place. You just got to
do it confidently.
Yeah.
So if you're walking, you ever walked in an empty pub to use the toilet? It's so awkward, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean that is sort of. I'm
always on my phone, and I'm always like, I'm here. I always do that one.
Yeah, I'm
here.
I'm at the toilet
now.
I'm eating the cubicle.
Yeah. I'm here now. I'm just going to go to the toilet, and I'll be at the table or something, and I'll just bowl out quickly.
Most big train stations now, the toilets are free, and they've done them up in it. Like, you know what I mean? It used to be. Do you remember when toilets you had to pay 20p or something to use them? And like they got rid of that, didn't they? It's all gone. So now if you're at like sort of Euston, whatever, or Charing Cross, all the toilets are free and they're way better than they used to be. I feel like that was a decision about 10 years ago. Yeah, it was about 10 years ago that changed, because there was a period where like every train station toilet was 20p to use, and I always thought it was such a disgrace, man.
Oh no!
Like,
if you ain't got 20 pence on you, you got to shit your pants. Like it's like,
yeah, it feels like that is too expensive.
It's a human right, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Like what a low cost to shit your pants for. Like
I remember going into King's Cross toilet. I was just sitting in Pret once for about 4 hours at King's Cross, just working on my laptop. Just before Edinburgh, I'd go and find somewhere to sit and try and write, which is fucking never. I never got anything from doing that.
Yeah.
But and I remember going in the toilets once. There's this guy standing there in a suit, big guy, and he was at this. You couldn't help but seeing his massive, big old dick, and then he kind of looked at me. And I'm like, fucking, I felt a bit eerie, man.
Yeah.
And then I went down and I worked for a little while. And then I went back to the toilet and he was still there. Like, he was obviously like soliciting
just
in there.
Just kicking about, mate.
Just kicking about with his big old dick, man.
Fucking hell.
Fucking trying to George Michael me.
But yeah, I'd say if you're near a train station, you can't fail with a train station. There are a few horrible outdoory ones, like, do you know there's one
Carnaby Street?
What are they got in Carnaby Street?
They used to have those outdoor toilets at the end of the street.
I feel like they've got rid of those again, because there was one right on next to Leicester Square. Like just as you walked in one of the side bits into Leicester Square, there was one of them 4-way men's outdoor urinals. So everyone just see your back,
man.
But there's a really disgusting one. But if you are desperate and you like, it can be done. It's on. I've forgotten the name of it. It's like basically if you're on the Strand, and it runs sort of parallel to St. Martin's Lane. I'll tell you where it is. It's next to the Oscar Wilde statue. There's a famous Oscar Wilde statue, which is quite a funny,
where that is. There's sometimes like a soup kitchen-y kind of thing.
It's around the corner from there, and there's basically this sort of big, almost like TARDIS looking thing that you pull the door open. It doesn't lock, and you go in and you can just wee in it. And you stand on a grate and you just wee down. It's gross, and it always stinks. But
train toilets are fucking weird, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're horrible, man. Like But yeah, that's they're my sort of go-to ones. Sometimes coffee shops, whatever. Just a library, an art gallery. They're always good. Somewhere you can bowl in for free. Let's see what else is going on question-wise. It's a good question, actually. There's actually some it's good to know. Here we go. What's something you love to do with your friends? This is from Stu. What's something you love to do with your friends you'd never do in front of your partner?
Fuck.
Have it off of your mates.
I'm actually, I'm going on my first ever stag do on Wednesday.
Really?
My first ever, but it's not how you would think a stag do is. We're just going bowling and then to a restaurant.
Oh, mate, what is it? Somebody's 13th
birthday? It's technically a stag do.
Somebody's
graduating. We haven't been together. Our group of friends, like there's me, Ricky, Deane, who are brothers, Archie, Steve and Kevin. Kevin's getting married soon. We haven't been together since the late 90s.
Oh, right. That's quite a nice little way of getting back together then, like, and sort of just...
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Like, we're like old men now. It's fucking weird.
It's nice, like sort of sometimes.
I'm really competitive.
There's something to be said for, just meeting up with people who you ain't seen in years, like, or haven't really spent time with. But, like my mate I'm going to the football with tonight, we, he lived about 10 doors up from me my whole childhood. And then we worked together in an Irish bar. He's a few years older than me. And we were always just matey. We'd play snooker and stuff in the bar and pool and whatever. And sort of when we got to once we got to like mid-teens, we were drinking together in the pub, and even though I was underage, and we were pretty, I feature in each other's entire childhood basically. But then, I got to my 20s and I just pissed off, and started comedy, and then met my ex, and like just life just went totally opposite. And we didn't speak. Because life changed until my dad died, because his dad was my dad's best mate, And so I texted him, and I got hold of his number, and I texted him and said, like, I haven't got your dad's number, but just I need to like let him know that my dad's passed away. And then we started chatting, and then because I'd moved back to Tooting, we then sort of just like got chatting a bit, and then we're like, let's meet for a beer, and then we went out and had a really lovely catch up, and we've stayed in touch since. So it's quite nice. There's something weird about something almost quite comforting when you sort of spend time with somebody that you know. That you sort of just known each other since you were little kids. It's almost like a sort of unwritten.
And you just hit like it where you left off, kind of. You just exactly the same straight away.
Exactly. It's weird, isn't it? Like, you know, because they sort of there's no when you meet new people and you sort of become mates, you've got to fill them in on all the backgrounds. Whereas when it's somebody, it's actually quite nice when you meet up with somebody who just was there. You know, you knew for the first 20 years of your life. Because you don't have to do any of that. You're actually filling them in on some new shit you've been up to. It's like, this is what I've been up to, really. Like, you know, it's quite a nice way of doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's quite fresh. He's like a plumber, and it's like probably it's just weird to get that thing when you spend too much time in comedy and you don't really meet like normal people anymore, do you? Just everyone you meet's a comedian.
Yeah.
It's quite nice just to go and hang out with your mate who's a plumber. So yeah, it's nice. But what was we saying? Oh, so things you do in front of your mates you wouldn't do in front of your partner. I don't really know. Like, sort of. I remember, like, when I went through a phase of doing hallucinogens. I always me and a couple of mates would always do them together, and I remember, like, you know, me and Hannah. There's no Hannah would have no judgment of me doing them. There's nothing like that. But I'd say out of all the things of like me and Hannah doing together, I would say hallucinogens wouldn't be it wouldn't be a high ranking thing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you become like a fucking idiot. And actually,
it'd be hard to do that in a relationship with someone. Hallucinogens, yeah.
Like with my best mate, me and him used to just turn into giggling little stupid wankers, and like there was nothing we could say to each other in the moments that would ever have any repercussions. Whereas, like, I don't know, man. If you're in a relationship, you might just start talking some crap, and I don't know, man. I feel like, you know, not that there's anything to hide, but just I don't know. You just say some stuff that is utter bollocks as well. So I feel like that's one I probably wouldn't risk. But yeah, that's the only one I can think of. Somebody's replied with circle jerk, which is it's probably quite inaccurate. It's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
Right, let me see. Here we go. The question. What's this? Who's this from? Ed. The question, why is the deep state run by people who are so evil and insane? There we go. What's the deep state? Is that
the Matrix?
What is the deep state, though? I sort of know the reference, but like I've never fully looked into it.
I don't know specifically.
Is that when they talk about like?
I guess they're talking about the puppeteers above the politicians,
right? Yeah. So
the Rockefellers and
some people say like the WEF. Is that one? The World Economic Forum?
No, the Rothschilds. Sorry,
who are the Rockefellers?
People bang on about, don't they? They're those billionaire family, the Rothschilds, the puppeteers, or part of the Illuminati, or I don't even know, man.
I know. It's that thing. I don't really know enough about it. But why are they run by so evil and insane? I don't know. See, I've always been of the mind that when people talk about the Illuminati and people talk about the deep state and all that, I think the simple answer is it's fucking rich people wanting to make more money. So they just manipulate.
Well, it's power, isn't it? All power corrupts.
Yeah, so they manipulate everything to just constantly increase their wealth. And to do that, you have to squirrel money out from everyone else.
And it's even more than economics. Wealth they want. They want control and power and...
Yeah, but I think that why do they want that? Because ultimately it must be economics, isn't it? What are you getting out of it otherwise? That's what I mean. Like, if you look at all the people that do it, when they say the Rothschilds and all that, they're business people, right?
I thought it might be the other way round, though. They want... Because money's power, isn't it?
But no, but I think, but I mean, I suppose, like, once the Rothschilds are just a rich big banking family. So I always presume if they are behind stuff, whatever, they're doing it to make more money for their family. That's sort of ultimately that once you're that sort of capitalist mindset, it's what it's all about, isn't it? And also you're protecting your interests. So every decision is about protecting your wealth, you don't want people to know where your money is and how you're hiding it. So you create these webs of, shit going on to just deceive the world.
I guess you want your family, your generations to always have that kind of power.
That's what I always assume that's why they're evil, because it's just greed. Greed is the most sort of, drives people to...
All power corrupts.
Yeah.
Absolute power corrupts, absolutely.
Here we go. Tim Bob says, if you could somehow talk to the clouds of dust and gas that were careering around in the tumultuous period following the birth of the universe, before any planets had formed, what advice would you give them? I mean, that's a big question, Tim Bob.
Just say chin up, you know what I mean?
Chin up.
Take it
easy.
Take it each day as it comes,
I'd give them advice.
You know what I mean?
I feel like they sort of worked it out, didn't we? We wouldn't be here if they hadn't done what they did. So I would just tell them, keep doing what you're doing, and we'll be all right.
Keep on keeping on, you know what I
mean? Here we go, James. Question for Julian Deane and anyone else who's not a football fan. What are days like today like? Not even an assassination attempt can stop people talking about whether Kane should start. Yeah, I mean, it is. I understand, it must be a bit annoying for people that aren't football fans, but it's only
I don't know,
2 weeks.
The final of the Euros,
weeks.
though, I think so many more people are on board. I didn't even know it was the final, man. That's how much I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know why. But I am excited now. I know it's the final.
That's good. I'm glad I got you excited.
Yeah,
but I think
the Euros, the World Cup, it transcends just the game of football. I think, doesn't it? And it's such a high level as well of play that you can appreciate the game more, the skill and stuff, because it's such a high level.
Yeah, but and also I'm a football fan, so obviously I'm probably speaking from a place of bias, but it's only a couple of weeks every 4 years. You know what I mean? Or I suppose if you take the World Cup, every 2 years there's a major tournament, right? So every 2 years there is 3 weeks of football that is that big a deal, and it's that's not a lot. Come on, the other sporting events are big. Wimbledon's 2 weeks. The Olympics is coming up in next week, innit? And that's another couple of weeks. There's loads of other sports that happen that are big, massive global events. So I feel like
football is the biggest, though, isn't it?
It is, and I think in this country, if England, England have done well and they've got to the final, and that's why there's this sort of fever pitch vibe. So I think if you're not a football fan, I get it. It's probably a bit annoying, but you've got to just kick back and be it's quite a big fit deal, isn't it, for the country and for people that are mostly.
Also, if we win the Euros, the mood of the country is in a better place. You know what I mean?
I mean, you've got to think about Keir Starmer, man. If you think if we win the Euros, Keir Starmer has just come in on a landslide in an election, that we win the Euros. I feel like he's basically won the lottery, isn't he? Do you know what I mean? The country's suddenly it's already got a bit of a rebound from the election. I think it's not 1997 where there's this wave of fucking things can only get better or any of that shit. But people are definitely, you can definitely feel there's a sort of breath of relief that, oh man, them fucking cunts have gone. You know what I mean? I think there is genuinely, you can feel it. So that's a nice vibe. Add on the Euros winning, mate. I think we'd go bananas. I think Keir Starmer would probably have 6 months of basically just blind, just doing whatever he wants. Anything, he'll get away with it.
The problem is with English, even if it's great news, there's just more alcohol and more fucking carnage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh man, that was part of my thinking. Originally, I was going to go and watch the football.
Probably be some extra deaths, you know what I mean, if we win.
Absolutely. I'd reckon there'll be a chunk, I was thinking of going to watch it in a pub in town. Partly because if we win, I think there will be chaos. I reckon everyone will descend on Trafalgar Square. It'll be car horns. I reckon it'll be a massive deal, and it'll be quite exciting to be there. But the flip side is, I think if we lose, it will be eggy, man. There'll be just some fucking violence, and that's and
there
again,
was in the World Cup, wasn't there? At Wembley or something. There was fucking it all kicked off.
There's always just a chunk of
some dumbasses.
It's not just England fans. There are other countries. I think England get a reputation worse than they probably deserve, just because, you know, I suppose we're reading about it in our press, but there's some other countries that have got some of the worst football hooligans. You know, they're horrible travelling fans, but you know, but that small percentage of people do ruin it for everyone because they're just fucking idiots.
Yeah.
I remember. Do you know David Alfie Ward?
Yeah, did he used to be a copper?
No. You're thinking of someone else. David Alfie Ward is a comedian. Big Tottenham fan.
I know him actually. Yeah. Yeah.
He's from a travelling family, right? So, but me and him were out in Amsterdam together when Tottenham got to the semi-finals of the Champions League, and we just got chatting to a guy, man, and he was like 18, and he was a fucking football hooligan. Came up and chatted to us in a pub, and like started telling us about the night before him and his mates had gone and fought loads of like Ajax ultras, and he goes, "Yeah, man, we had a right fucking dust up and all that." He goes, "Yeah, it's quality." And he was saying about how his dad's no longer allowed to go to Tottenham. He got banned for life for hooliganism. And like, he was telling us like we were going to be like, "Whoa, that's cool." And David just went to him, David's a big, imposing guy. And he just went like, "What are you doing that for? You're fucking ruining it." And the kid was like, "What?" And David was like, "Why?" Like, he goes, like, "I don't know if you know this, but we go to watch the football because we support Tottenham. Like, we want to watch the team and watch the match. Like, he goes, your dad ain't a supporter, is he? Your dad's not even allowed to go and watch the team he claims to support." And David just ripped him to shreds, man. And I swear, in this sort of 2-minute diatribe that David like hit him with, the kid almost like you could see the kid's like brain realigning and him realizing that his dad's basically ruined his life just by being a cunt,
a loser.
Yeah, like
I never get that. If people want to go out and look for a fight, why don't they just join a boxing club, man? You know what I mean? You can do that. We've got outlets for that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't. It's mad, man. Like, you know, it's such a silly. Don't get me wrong. You know, I've been in drunk little scuffles in the past, right? But like, that's a different thing.
Glassing West Ham fans.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I've kicked a few fucking people's mouths into
taking
curbs.
A machete to fucking Millwall. In a long jacket.
Look, I've thrown a few darts,
just swinging it around in front of families.
I've thrown a few darts into the travelling fans, but no. But what I'm saying is like they've been
bombs.
Like them times when I've ever been in those have been a result of being in a pub, everyone's shit faced, and some altercation happens, and then it's just something. It just kicks off. But I've never ever in my life looked for it, and I would never look for it. And now I'd avoid it like the plague, but. Them people that go out with that almost.
It's kind of like tribal, isn't it? A tribal kind of. It's in our DNA, maybe. You know what I mean? To just kind of. We used to be at war with the next villages and stuff, and now it's like football teams and.
But some people just have
it's
bad.
Kind of become a religion, isn't it?
Yeah, but when you meet someone who's got that bad energy, man, it looks like they would just snap in a second. It's weird, isn't it? It's quite you can feel it.
I just swerve it.
There was a guy on. I did the 99 Club last night, and there was a guy in the front row of his girlfriend, and he was like a little wiry, little beardy, like skinhead guy, and I walked on stage. I got bad vibes from him, man, just straight away. I don't know, like everyone next to him was a really cool group, and they were like really chatty and fun, and the other side was like a nice couple, and there was this young couple in the middle, and he was only about 26, 27. And he just arms folded. It was a bit sort of like, weren't enjoying it. But it didn't seem like it wasn't me. It was just that he weren't, I don't know, it didn't feel like he was somebody who'd enjoy comedy, man. He just, I don't know what he wanted. So I was having a really good gig. And at one point, I just, in an offhand comment, I had sort of addressed his girlfriend, sort of said something to her. It was funny. And she laughed and everyone laughed. And he turned like, I could see the daggers he was giving me for the rest of my set. And at one point, towards the end of my set, I heard him just under his breath just say to me, he went, "Dickhead," like that, which is so rude, man. But like, and I sort of stopped the gig. I went, Did you say that to him? I went to him, "What did you just say?" And he went, "No, nothing," like that. And I was just like, okay. And I carried on because I was like, I can't let that slide, man. Sort of he's so... But how much of it?
You calling a fucking dickhead?
Yeah, but no. But I did it laughing. I went, "What did you just say?" I knew what he said, but I wanted him to say it just to see if he had the guts. But it was such a moment of like, I realised it was just pure. He was so like sensitive, like almost like the fact that I'd made his girlfriend laugh essentially, I think he just got that thing of like, who the fuck are you, man? And he just gave me daggers for the rest
ready.
of my set.
He thought you were going to take the piss and stuff, and he's probably not been to a comedy club before, and like, he's just got that wall up, hasn't he?
It's I know, like, man. It's just
the
like,
best defense is attack.
Yeah, like, what a dickhead.
It's just hassle, man.
I know. So I just want to say, look, mate, you're at a comedy show, just relax. I'm not here to wind people up. I'm here to literally make you laugh. And to talk to your girlfriend in front of you. I'm here to nick your girlfriend, mate.
Should have rizzed his gal.
You want to drop this fucking pussy hole and come with me, yeah? Yeah.
Your man's an idiot. Your man's a buffoon.
Oh shit, man! Yeah, I found it. I just got really annoyed with it. I came on stage, like, I'm so weird. The whole gig was lovely. I was having a great time, and I just saw him, and I just, you know, when you just work someone out instantly. I know everything about you, mate. You're a little oversensitive,
see the
eggy little
moving.
geezer, and you just can't handle it. Just like so. Anyway,
I did Hot Water at the weekend, man. Their new Blackstock Market is fucking incredible, man.
Really. Like, how many gigs did you do?
They built a massive. I did one each night for 3 nights, so 3 gigs, yeah. But each night, man, the room is one of the best rooms in the country, no doubt, man.
How big is it?
It's probably about 450 in.
Ooh,
probably about 450 seats. It's like the old Hot Water, but it's huge. Yeah. It's just a bigger version. It's just such a great, like, it's like a big warehouse. It's got like a food hall, a little old pub within it, you know what I mean?
Nice.
Like just a big stage of live music on, and then they got like 4 gig rooms there, and
amazing.
They do the Hot Water podcast in one of the rooms. I was supposed to do it, but I didn't get there in time, man. So I had to like cancel it. But Jamie thingy will come
Hutchinson.
on TVI.
Oh, Jay, he's funny. Yeah, isn't he? He's really cool.
He's really funny, man.
He's so funny, man.
He'll come on at the end of July. He's in London.
Oh, nice. Get him on, mate. Lovely
stuff.
Get
him on, innit?
Yeah. Right, we need to wrap it up in a sec. So I'm going to go out, mate, and watch some bloody football.
You've got to get your petrol bomb ready. You know what I mean?
Mate. Got to get my tools together, mate. Stanley knife, yes.
Stanley.
Knuckle
Say hello
duster.
to Stanley, you Spanish cunt.
Proper slash across the cheek. Knuckle duster in one hand, Stanley knife in the other. Come on, and you fucking...
Just fucking Reggie Cray, them motherfuckers.
Oh, mate, I listened to a podcast about Reggie Cray. It was recommended by one of our patrons. I can't remember who. Somebody recommended a podcast called A British Scandal. It's a series. There's loads of series now, and they pick like periods of British history where there was sort of scandalous news, and they just sort of do like little reenactments, and they talk you through the story. And there's one, and Matt Ford's one of the hosts, Alice Levine's the other host, and I listened to one about the Krays. It's 4 episodes about the Krays, and it's really interesting.
Oh, cool.
It's really like well made. Nice podcast, like they sort of just tell the story, and they come out of it now and again for comments and a bit of fun, and then they go back into the story, and it's really good. I really recommend it. And then I'll tell you a better series though was one about Dr. David Kelly's suicide, which was like fucking wicked. Do you remember that? Like just in the sort of wake of the Iraq War. Do you remember when we went into Iraq, and there was all the dodgy dossier stuff, and then David Kelly was a English, like a MOD weapons inspector, and he was the one that basically his name came out as a sort of whistleblower, saying that they sexed up the dossier to go to war, and then he ended up killing himself in the woods, and there was all these conspiracies he'd been knocked off and all that, and it tells a story of like the lead up and what happened, and it's fucking good, man. It's a good podcast.
Sounds like he was definitely knocked off.
Well, actually, weirdly, when you actually hear the story, you sort of realise and you remember it much clearer when you hear them talk about the circumstances. And it made me think that he killed himself, like way more than I used to always think he probably was knocked off. But actually, when you hear it, like loads of details about things that were going on, and it makes you go, "Oh, do you know what? I could see myself killing myself if I was in that position." So that's a recommendation for everyone. So there we go.
Don't kill yourself, people. If you get suicide thoughts, speak to someone.
Speak to somebody, yeah. You know.
Unless you fucking sexed up the dossier, then you might as well, bro. Just don't sex up any dossiers.
Don't
you know
sex
what I mean?
up any dossiers. That's our thought of the week. So that's it, innit? That's we'll be back. We'll be back in the studio this week, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. We will be. I love this studio, man. So that's it. Thanks for listening. Thanks, patrons. Thanks for your questions.
Thanks, everybody.
Well, next time we'll be back, we'll know if England won the Euros. We'll see what the fallout is of Trump getting smoked in his ear. Because he hasn't come out and said anything yet, has he? He did like one tweet.
He's done a statement, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. By then, we might have heard from him. There might be an actual, like, video.
He'll do a kind of a talk, I'd imagine, at some point, eh?
So I'm sort of, it's exciting times to see what happens, see what the damage is, mate, see how his ear is.
Isn't it, man?
I mean, it's weird, like, not to be fat phobic or sort of, take the mick out of people's size, but you've got to say that out of every American president in especially modern history, he's the easiest target, isn't he? He's the fattest one ever. So
is he? Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah,
Can you think of any fatter presidents?
He's quite a tall
lifetime?
Guy, isn't he? What's he, about 6'2" or something?
I reckon he's probably about 6. I think he's relatively tall. But you think it's better gunman, man, would have absolutely taken him out of the game. But went for the head, the harder shot. Go for the chest. That's my advice. Don't sex up any dossiers and shoot for the chest if you're.
I wonder if it was an organised thing, because it's interesting how a gunman's just dead. Like, I suppose they had to kill him, didn't they? He was opening fire on a crowd. Hey, didn't have any tear gas.
Yeah, why didn't they ask him to stop shooting people?
If that was in England, I'd have been running over there. Okay, get on the floor with a little bat,
little bat and a little whistle.
Yeah, for fucking them electrocuting things.
Taser.
Taser,
anyway, we'll get some more info, but we'll know more.
Right, thanks, patrons.
Episode.
We love you. Thanks, listeners.
And that's it, really, isn't it? If you're going to Edinburgh, buy tickets to my Edinburgh show, and that's about it for now. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.